Where are those heavies again? Okay, and put those in there. Can't be built on puppets? Oh, okay. There are some aspects of this game which I don't particularly like. The fact that you can't build on allies' territory. It kind of makes sense for some things, but like if you invaded Normandy, if you recreated D-Day and landed along here, was it here or was it here? Here. I'll get it right. If you landed on these three areas, you can't build like a temporary supply base or anything like that, or any infrastructure to move the supplies forward. And that feels like an oversight, because we know that there would have been road building and bridge building and all sorts of operations to get those supplies forward in the temporary ports. There should be some option, I think, in there to build on allies' land, or for that sort of purpose anyway. It would make sense to me. Let's tick that off again. We've got 3 dockyards now. I need to look at that too. Let's take a look. What have we got? How many free dockyards, and what are we currently building? So we've got the convoys going. We've got... that's been refit. We've got the 1940s escorts that I've spelt wrong, but that's okay. We've got the light cruisers. And we've got mine and strike submarines. Excellent. What do we need to build then? Just want to see. And we should have enough escorts with all this. I think. Oh, the Lend-Lease actually costs your senators and reps? Oh, okay, because I've got the war support, I gain them instead. Well, that makes sense. That does make sense. Actually, I didn't realise that was factored into the war support of the country. That's nice. Just the way that mechanic works. Before I go building anything, let's actually make... Yeah, let's put those in there. And let's put those in there. What else have we got here? We've got more strike subs. Get training, fellas. Get training. There is no time to lose. Ha! My God. They definitely need training up. The escorts, they should be looking pretty good. Although I think these are all older. Yeah, these are definitely older ones. And these should be the newer ones, right? These are the newer ones. Okay. I'll put them in there. I think we maybe need more... Well, I've got probably got more escorts than I have convoys. We probably don't need to worry too much about that. They'll build up as the war goes on. But let's set up some big fleets. So, what do we want? How many... Does it show the light stuff in there? 12, 13, 14. Okay, let's make a new task force with all light cruisers. These are my screening ships. I've got 21. So 21 of those will screen... Oh, God, I think it's... I can't remember. Is it 4... You need 4 screening ships per capital ship, or is it 8? I think it's a minimum of 4, isn't it? I think it's a minimum of 4, if I remember right. So in that, I could also put 5, up to 5 capital ships. Well, this is going to be a big fleet. That would actually support 5 destroyers, 5 carriers as well. How many have I got here? I've got 4 carriers here. That would be a damn big group. There's a lot of capital ships in there. Okay, let's put 4 in. I think it's 4. I hope I've got that right. Otherwise, I am going to be badly mistaken. A group can support up to 4 carriers without penalties. But to keep them effectively screened, it's probably risky putting them all in here. Let's put them into there. To keep capital ship, I mean, to keep a carrier screened, it has to be screened by a capital ship. But to keep a capital ship screened, I think you need 4 screening ships, and that's what I'm using the light cruisers for. I'm trying to think. I think it's a minimum of 4 per capital ship. And I generally like to have 8, because then that allows some of those screens to be destroyed before the capital ships become vulnerable. But I think it's 4 as a minimum. Yeah, I might be all wrong with that. Let's go. Let's not worry too much. Let's put 1 of each back to there. The Maryland and the Yorktown. Back into the main pond. And this lot. Okay, this is going to be our... I'm going to call this the Pacific Fleet. And we're going to put a proper strike commander in charge of this. And it will grow over time, but that is hopefully going to be a big nasty fleet. 4 to 5 screens per capital ship. Let's hope it's not going to be too weak at that. Let's change the colour. That colour's no good. Pacific. What we need is a palm tree. Put him as the crabs. Shark fin. Oh, let's go for that. That's nice. And we'll make it blue. And we shall make it... What else can we do? That'll do. Let's do this. Who's going to be in charge of this one? Needs to be an air controller. Air controller experience factor. Ernest King. And there's Nimitz. Retreat is a blockade runner. Caustic personality. Oh my god. That's not helpful. Chester W. Nimitz. So Admiral Halsey. Spotting speed. Positioning. And air control. I might go for him. Any reason not to? Enemy retreat chance. Yeah. Naval lineage. Less likely to retreat. Positioning. Spotting speed. A blue water expert? Oh, let's put him in. He looks quite good. So, what do we want after this? Concealment expert. Definitely. And smoke screen expert? Well, that's going to give him a massive... let's take it anyway. Okay, Nimitz. Let's see how good you are. Throw caution to the wind? Yes, I don't want a load of... Because I dare say the AI will have a big load of destroyers in as screening ships and stuff. And that could prove quite costly. Quite costly. But we've got 3 battleships, 3 carriers. And technically on that, we just need 12. A minimum of 12. No, we wouldn't. We need a minimum of 12 screening ships. Oh, so I could have put them in. Because I would have needed a minimum of 16. And I've got 21. So that's okay. Yeah, let's put these back in again. So we're going to put the West Virginia, just because it's at the top. And the Nevada. And sorry, and the Yorktown. And they will go in there. Did I not... Oh, I've got the wrong one selected. Oh, no, I'm being stupid. It is there. It's just in my Pacific Fleet they need to go. There we go. Meanwhile, if we're going to call it the Pacific Fleet, we should really sail it into the... Should we go and put it somewhere where the Japanese can bomb it in the first turn? Maybe not. Actually, we don't need to. We don't need to do that yet. I do want it somewhere where it can be useful. So let's put it there. Put it there. And we shall train them up as well. Got the new guns. We're in 1940. We'll get those. Let's change that over. This was all triggered because I was coming to look at what I was going to build in my dockyards, wasn't it? That I've since forgotten about. Let's just set those guys off training. You heard Pearl Harbor's a safe place to park it? Yeah, it'd be nice. They get a bit of a suntan, get acclimatized. You could be onto something there. Heard it's popular with the Japanese tourists as well. Let's see. Unassigned divisions. We still haven't got that ready yet. Not quite. I've got to change the colour of that. That's going to end in tears, isn't it, when I mix those two armies up? And yeah, I was still thinking on the dockyards, wasn't I? So we need to build. I haven't got any research into carriers yet. I should do that. The mine subs are coming on absolutely fine. I think the destroyers are okay for now. More light cruisers, and we can get more of our capitals in. Is that a 19... Do I not have a 1940s cruiser hull? I don't. Okay, well, we're going with 1936 cruisers for the time being then. This is going to chew up a load more... we need some more dockyards going, clearly. Oregon. Which one's Oregon? Is it right at the top up here? I think... Is it... Oh, it'd be Oregon. The big word on the map is probably a giveaway. Now what we're short of. Rubber. Yeah, we're going to work on that, though. We are working on that. Unfulfilled... Alright, rubber's not coming from Brazil. I don't think Brazil's involved, but now wouldn't be a bad time to get my my escorts to work, would it? So we've got those who should be training. And those who should probably be trained. They're fine. Right. Let's see what this does when I add in the escort job. Convoy escort. Your granddad welded amphibious craft together at Pearl during the war? I think everyone loves Hawaii though, don't they? Who can not love the birthplace of the best flavour of pizza? Okay, so... Let's add some areas in here. When we go to war, I'll actually split these up into size 10 sized. Actually, we're going to have too many. No, we're not. We don't need to be size 10. We just need to be 10 little subgroups in this. Can't think what you call them. Definitely there. Yep, come on. We're going to escort everything. We're going to escort our guys to Australia. Anything else? It's really only where the trade routes are supposed to be going, but we're putting it all on. Just in case you need to escort into Japan. Have I clicked that twice? Is that because range is out of naval range? Okay. Britain can sort itself out for now. Okay. Hang on. Did I miss off? Did I miss off that one? Yep. And that one, it looks like. Yeah. And the Coral Sea. Will anything happen in the Coral Sea? Nah, surely not. Okay, what did I forget to research? We are in 40. The radars we should go up. We really should. But I am going to put my efforts into... Oh, Mitchell bombers. Let's get those up. Are we? We are doing rubber production, aren't we? Did I not? Oh, yes, I can build this now. Right, okay, that's... Right. Let's get some synthetic refineries on the go. I can't remember what things I've ordered now built in what places. California can definitely take one. There we go. We're going to have a bit of... rubber takes a while to produce, as far as I remember. There. That should start to have some sort of effect. We've got a lot of... Let's put 2 up to the... Or 3 up to the top of the list. And the rest will... They'll come to those... We've got lots of civilian factories. They'll come to them when they're ready. It's going to come on nicely. What did I build for the first 4 years? I built dockyards. I got some civilian factories on the go. I improved a bit of infrastructure to get our steel and other resources up. I built some bases in the Pacific, so naval bases and airfields, and just prepared for trouble, really. We've got the next naval bomber. Excellent. We want the carrier version. Now that's a naval bomber. They're beautiful looking aircraft. I would have been scary as hell to fly a torpedo bomber in the war. It must be a terrifying experience attacking in one of those, but they look really nice. Anxious to see how the Navy works. It's always confused you. It's a confusing thing. I played as Britain co-op with a friend. Neither of us knew the game, and we sort of tried to learn it together that way, and that helped. That really helped. We could sort of work it out as we went along. But yeah, I'll show you. We can probably slow this down a bit. Oh, hang on. Hang on, there's loads of things. More free dockyards? Great. We've got 2 lots of light cruisers, which we use for screening the big battleships. We've got good escorts coming along, although I could do with the better ones, because my early escorts have got crap range. We've got lots of submarines. I think we need to look at maybe building an aircraft carrier or 2. What can we do in the way of carriers? We've got 1936 style. Still going to be short of the light cruisers. We'll lose a lot of destroyers when that kicks off. I'm going to put more destroyers in. I've got my escort design there. They'll be fine. Absolutely fine. Let's put another 5 for now, and we shall produce those in Texas. I think that's where my destroyers are coming. Navy is what puts you off playing the UK. It's actually not too bad once you get your head around it, and I'll show you. I mean, what I do might not be optimal, but it's a much easier way of managing it, and I'll show you what I do. So, escorting is actually incredibly simple. What you do is you put all your destroyers into one fleet. I've got them split in 2, but it's so that some are still in training. What the hell does that mean? Why aren't they? Why have they got a exclamation mark? Oh, it doesn't matter. So you put all your escort destroyers in one big fleet, and you'll split this into 10 small ones. But this is to organise it first, 100 of them. And to split them, it's dead simple. You just you select them on, halve it, basically, and then you select the head honcho. You do the convoy escort mission, and you just right-click on every sea space in the game, and you leave it, and that's it. And that's convoy escorting finished, done, job done. And it's brilliant because they don't need to be stationed there. It doesn't matter about the range. If there's a sub-attack and there's a free group of 10 destroyers or whatever in this pool, it'll be teleported to wherever the sub-attack is, and it's an easy way of managing it. That's what's worked for me in the past. It works a treat. So that's the escorting done. Submarines I split into mine-laying ones, which you just build a cheap mine-laying sub. You go and drop it in loads of waters, like typically around Japan and the Philippines, stuff that you want to defend, or the Channel, if you're playing over here. Channel in the North Sea or the Mediterranean, and then some strike subs, which are more set up for sinking enemy ships, and you just set them on the missions where you think they'll be useful. So it was the escorting thing that caused us the biggest problems to start with. Wondering am I going to place more troops in the Philippines so Japan don't take it? I have got, I'll show you what I've got. I've actually got 24 divisions in the Philippines, and they are covering the ports. They're dug in. It's possible that Japan could invade. They're covering the ports and the airfields, sorry, so that we've got the airfields protected. So as long as they don't take the ports, they can land here, they can land here. They won't survive long, because the troops will run out of supplies and starve, and then my divisions will just mop them up. But as long as we don't lose the ports in the Philippines, we'll be absolutely fine. So that's going to be a base to hold them off. I could put more troops in. I've built up a level 10 base in there. But we'll see what happens. And then I want to build up some of these island bases, which we've done with a... We've put some coastal forts on, big naval base, some strongish divisions, and we're building up radar and airfields so that we can rule the seas and very quickly knock Japan out of the war. That's the idea. Whether it goes ahead is another matter. You set up a strike force, it never seems to go out and strike anything. The thing with a strike force is that generally it's not very good at spotting enemies, so you either need other ships or aircraft in an area that will spot for it, and if it sees anything, it will go and get them. And I've found them a bit weird, so I've got a strike force here. My Pacific Fleet, currently in training. So you need some screening ships, like light cruisers or destroyers will work, but light cruisers will definitely hang around in the fight longer. And that's to stop the enemy screening ships torpedoing your big ships. And then you need big ships, like heavy cruisers and battleships, to screen the aircraft carriers, so that they don't get bombed by the enemy's battleships. Not bombed, but you know what I mean, shot at. And so it's 1-to-1 for the battleships and aircraft carriers, as in at least one heavy ship per aircraft carrier, and at least 4 screening ships per heavy ship. It sounds confusing, but that was what I was told on Reddit. That's what I stuck with, and it's worked. And then you put your strike force, you sail them to a port somewhere where you want them to be active from first, and then you set them on the strike orders after that. But they need something or some other fleets around to spot for them, because that can be their weakness. That's been my experience anyway. But yeah, if I set this to a strike order now, I might set it to strike around the coast of Japan. But if I didn't move them, they'd still be based in San Francisco or San Diego. And yes, an enemy fleet might get spotted here, but they'd try sailing all the way across here to fight first, and then the target would be gone. So you need to have them fairly local first before you give the order. Unless I've been doing it wrong, but that's where I've fallen down with them. Yeah, the scout planes do help. And what people often do is they'll have the strike fleet, then they'll have, what do you call them? Extra task forces, isn't it? You have extra task forces that have ordered not to strike, but to patrol and spot. And they'll be made up of like light cruisers. And on light cruisers, you can put scout planes as well. What else spots well? I think submarines with radar can spot quite well if they're told to avoid combat. Speaking of avoiding combat, like my mine subs, these should be set to never engage. Current orders, do not engage. And that should be set for the entire fleet. I've got to remember that, because you don't want them fighting at all. So yeah, I mean, I'd sort of learned that strategy with the British Navy. And you can have a small strike force, but you've got to be careful with it, because it will be vulnerable, because the enemy ones tend to run about, like Italian navies and Japanese navies, they go around in big numbers. But a small one can be really effective, because they'll be able to bring all their ships into the first round of attack, and they'll get a positioning advantage because they're smaller than the enemy. But you've got to weigh up the survivability and the risk of getting overwhelmed. It's interesting. I've got a lot to learn about the naval game. I'm sure I could do things better. But as I've come to learn with this, just enough is good enough in your setup and play. Is it 7:45? Holy crap. Where'd that time go? Okay, I was only supposed to stream until 6:30. Well, okay, there's an extra hour we've got on. Right, folks, that's my day flown by. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon with probably a shorter stream, but some more of this. What was I doing? Oh, well, we've got the notifications. We'll remember when we get back. We're not at war yet. We're in 1940. So far, so good. The preparation is good. It's very slow to start off with the US. But the more options you tick and more things you build, the faster that ramps up. So we're getting to the point of getting to a nice state of production now. This is getting better. But our civilian production is one of the main things. Once we've got that up and the things I want to build there up, this is probably a bit silly on all the rubber. But hey, we're going to do it regardless. We're going to have a big air force. We need more military factories. But it's the Air Force and the Navy that we went for. That was going to be our play in this. And that's going to be some fun. So, thanks for hanging out today. It's been great fun. Let's just see if there's anyone I know on streaming. We can go raid. Nope, would have raided Tom if he was on, but he's not. He's never on. Anyway, folks, thanks for hanging out. Thanks to all new followers and the support and everything. And we'll see you again tomorrow around about 2:45 UK time. Have a great night, and I'll catch you then.